Yes, good evening, everybody. Guys, it is time for the Paul Puff and Pulse and Puff? What is our variety hour called again?
It's Puff and
Well, we are
Pulse.
here.
You are first,
Puff,
now, and forever.
yes, first and now and forever. I am super excited to do this thing. We are hanging out and we are going to go on ahead and do a VOD review for four. Okay, so this is tough. We've got 4X11GD, or is it 412GD? 4X Flash.
We're just going with 4X.
4X. Sorry, cool. 4X. 4X.
I
And that
like it.
is what we're doing here. We are going to go on ahead and VOD review this. This is from the Boot Camp Week 3, our Thief Time flag set that we did a few weeks back. And by a few weeks, I mean a couple weeks back. So we're going to kind of go over the flags here a little bit while Dead Pulse goes on ahead and shares a screen with me so I can see what is going on.
I have to do that
Yeah.
too. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties. I sounded like a robot right at 7:29 or 8:29, so I had to restart. Hold on. Share my
Yes.
screen. So while I'm figuring out all these technical difficulties, um, so we have 13 days away from the Duck Derby.
Mhm.
Uh, Gregory Puff, if you were taking place in the Duck Derby, how would you be preparing over the next 13 days?
I would be practicing the heck out of these flags. Uh, all the flags have been posted. They've been posted, what, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks now? I would go through there. I would not only be practicing the flags, just rolling random seeds and running them on my own, but I would be going into the Final Fantasy Randomizer community Discord. I would be going under the race organized area or the race organized channel, and I would be putting that at ping me to race and trying to get people to race with me just so how I could see how I stack up against other people. And then, of course, talk about the races. There's no better way to interact with the community and learn how to play the game better than to race against, well, other people and then talk about how the race went afterwards. Um, Outside of that, I mean, I don't really know how else you would practice. I mean, just run through the stuff, talk about the races, maybe try to get some vets to run through it, and then pick their brains about how they would approach the seeds because obviously they've been around a lot longer than some of the newer runners.
Oh, I like it.
Uh,
One thing I wanted to mention quick. So there is a current problem with the 4.3.0, the current flags, and that's just an error with the fast ship placing the canal elsewhere. This is going to be fixed before the Derby. It's going to be updated to 4.3.1. I think a couple days before the start of the Derby, when we get everything ironed out, the new flags for that will be released. So if you do run into a seed that you can't find the canal, we apologize for it. Just re-roll. But at least, oh, I got the practice for how to do the beginning stuff. So, take the silver lining in it.
yeah. So it looks like we're just kind of looking over everything. Obviously, Thief Time, you know, Uh, kind of the same setup that we did a few weeks back for week 3, Duckling Boot Camp. We got a Topher exit, squishy enemies, standard bosses, decent encounter rate, decent EXP. You've got your katana, defense sword, power bonking, ribbon in the incentive pool. Lots of incentive locations, ice ordeals, marsh, Titan's Trove, Earth Cave, Sea Shrine, Canaria locked in Cardia Islands incentive, which was one of the newer ones we talked about. Obviously when we went over this flag set a few weeks back. Shortcut Gaia. Um, we took out the Mass Immune because we want you guys to kind of lean heavily into that katana. Let's see here. We do have the free tail, so class change is available the second you can get to Bahamut. And I don't really see anything else that I would talk about outside of course, we've got that forced thief and the first slot, and then you can kind of choose whatever party you want to do around that. Two bonus classes, no, or sorry, two bonuses for class flourishing, no spellcasting bonuses, and blursh weapons are -2 to +4. 30 for the weapon elemental slash type damage bonus. Um, yeah, thief lockpicking at level 10, which means obviously that thief is going to negate the key once you get to level 10. Anything else you want to talk about before we hop into this thing?
Oh, the last thing that I had was we just finished up week 2 of the Plata Party. We have one more match left to go. Um, to answer Sir Tobalot in chat, if you go into the Duckling Weeklies, the Duckling Weekly channel, and scroll up to week 3, which I believe is called Thief Time, you will find a copy of the flags that we're currently going to be doing the VOD review of.
Yep.
But back to the Platy Party. So we got one more week. Then the champion is going to be crowned. Right now, the top 4 racers, we have Luffy DV in first place with 52 points. We've got Shubabi in second place with 49 points. And we've got a tie for third place between Devious and Saracen at 46 points. The points are pretty close on there, and any one of them could take it. It's going to be a very exciting week 6 of the boot camp, because it'll be obviously the last race of the Platy Party. And at that point, we only have after that 8 days until the first Derby race. So many things
Yeah,
just
that's,
packed in. All right, let's see. Well, that's all I got. So I believe I have it up on screen right now. There we go. So we'll kind of take a look at the blurses. Greg, do you want to go over anything else, or are you ready to get the show rolling?
nah, I mean, I just wanted to talk about 4X's little doggy there. It looks like a little Boston Terrier potentially. Let's see if he lets me know. I can't really tell from the little tiny picture down here, but he's pretty cute in his lap there. It is a Boston Terrier.
Oh,
That's right.
I cut off
Yeah.
the doggy cam. Hold on. Let me. I didn't want to. 4X, if you're okay, I'll show the whole thing. I just didn't want to, like dox you for no reason. But I have all the important things on the screen. All right. So bear with me as I try to do this. Whoop. It's magic. There we
It's
go. Got a
magic.
little doggy cam there. So,
Doggy cam
Crackly
is like
Puff,
the
try
best
not to
thing
be too
ever.
distracted by it. We got a VOD review to do.
All right. So yeah. Um outside of this, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about the 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 plan or the strategies for this that I didn't already talk about earlier. So I think that you can lean heavily into the thief if you want to. I mean, it's obviously there, but you do have all those incentive locations that you have to check. You could bring the thief and then bring another melee along, and then lean heavily on that melee, and then potentially try to avoid all those extra checks for like katana power bonk, ribbon, and so forth and so on, and potentially lean into like a black belt or a fighter or something like that, because having a thief carry your party can be tough, even with all the extra incentives, even with the free key, even with, the extra agility and stuff like that. It can be tough because their HP growth just isn't great. And, their strength isn't great. They just aren't that good. I don't know how else to describe it, but we got some pretty good magic here, at least for the white mage. So it's good that he brought a white mage along there.
Yeah, what I like to do and would suggest is, even if you have a white mage, peek your head into the white shop and then the black shop, because you don't want to run out of money to buy all those delicious black spells, because that's how you're going to kill Garland. And then after you kill Garland, you can obviously go back and buy the rest of your spells.
Yeah. So luckily able to get through that. Go straight for Garland, which makes sense, especially when there are no loose items. There's no reason to really check Toph unless you're really hurting for money, but you'll be able to get money with this EXP. We got a canal and a canoe right off the bat. Now back here, so here's one thing I want to talk about real quick. So we came back in here to grab fast super quick. I mean, it's great. It's fine to run back in there and grab fast. But when are we going to use fast? Are we using
Uh,
fast soon?
no, we're using fast later in the game, like
Yeah.
unless you're absolutely desperate during like carry or something. But
Yeah, I mean, it's good to pick it up, but it looked like he only picked up fast on like one person, so we already had fast on somebody else, which means, there's no real reason to pick up fast on a second character, especially when, fast is more of an in-game thing, unless of course you're forced into go to go into Volcano. Volcano's not incentivized, so there's no real reason to go to Volcano unless you're ready to kill Carrie. Good thing he remembered that he needed to talk to Vicky
oh
there.
my.
That can be kind of scary.
Oh. And not only that, but with a thief carry, once you promote, you're probably going to come back and buy those spells. So that would have been the time to pick up fast on your other character.
Yeah. And there's Life 2. Ice 3, of course, you're going to pick up for everybody. So pretty decent sweepers here with Fire 3, Ice 3. Uh, Grabbing Life 2, of course, on the Red Mage. I like checking White Magic first until you find Fade, and then, of course, never checking White Magic first afterwards. Um,
Yep.
I like checking to see what you have, but you want to put obviously your sweepers, spells that you're going to want to use first in that front slot before you grab something like a Life 2. Uh,
Fade
unfor-
is always terrible because you want to check white magic so that you don't like, oh, I'm going to buy Ice 2 as my sweeper, and all of a sudden Fade is available for your red mage. However, when you check it first and go, oh, Fade is available for the red mage, and you buy that, the next thing you know, Nuke is available at the same level. It's
yeah,
just
that,
the
that
worst.
yeah, that's pretty unlikely, but yes, it does happen, and that's terrible. Here you go. Play after your own heart there. Going straight for the Old Men in Crescent Lake.
I love this.
Good play here.
We
And we got Ham, which I'm assuming has got to be the Ruby because you don't play Ham.
This is ham is now just my favorite. It is so simplistic. It's just a great word to say, like ham.
I assume you don't break out the ham and start jamming on it, so it's got to be. Now I do like this play here. He realizes there's a pretty fast encounter off the hard reset. He's right in front of Crescent anyway, so maybe take a couple of battles outside of here. We're gonna save. We're gonna check this area out. This is really good.
Oh
This
yeah.
is top. This is like kind of,
This
I don't know.
this
I
is
feel like,
again right up my alley. This is something I did in practices for spring tournament. Definitely, the fact that we're already level 7, we have all of this magic. I might have actually kept the black mage down and then continued on just to get my thief up to 10 here.
yeah.
Um,
So and I will say, and this is obviously not to dog on the play, you can still tell he's relatively new, but he has the essentials to play the game because, like, there's like walk around, oh crap, I didn't hard reset yet, and then just kind of like the moving around stuff. So you can tell he's relatively new, but he has the mindset for this, and he has learned from, I guess, what we're doing here and this whole boot camp thing. So this is like, I don't know. This is top tier play. This is something I wouldn't have even thought to do in this this early on in the community.
oh, and using
Yes.
tents, that's beautiful.
Yep. Yep. May as well use them. You got them, and you got plenty of ice threes at level 2 and fire threes at level 1. So no reason to go back to Crescent Lake until you run out of spell charges. Now, this particular battle, I wouldn't be taking this one. I think the trolls and the bulls and the north, I guess, east quadrant of this area is a little bit better than the scorpions and bulls. What do you think?
Um, Actually, when you get like 6 scorpions in the bulls, that is a good deal of money as well as experience. It's not as good as peds. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, peds are where it's at. Obviously, we haven't seen that yet. I think the only thing we're missing here right now is just, I think there's at least one more encounter zone around here that we could be checking.
Yeah.
But yeah, as for Forex says, I mean, he was looking for the peds. Um, Now this is kind of a tough thing. I mean, the Cure 4 is like super cheap, and by super cheap, I mean it was like, less than half of what you had there. But picking up Tier 4 when you're only level, what are we, level 7, level whatever?
Level
Like we're
10
not gonna be,
now.
yeah. So level
Well,
10, we're not gonna be
it's
we're not
yeah.
gonna be seeing it for a while.
I see what you're saying there also, but that was really the only spell that was worth it. And if you can buy it and not have to come back to Crescent Lake, like that's going to be a win.
Yeah.
Um,
So
but
right
I
there.
would have. We haven't checked out level 3 or 4 Magic, so I probably would have saved that money for level 3 and 4.
We
Um,
also have no vendor item either.
we have. We're interrupted by puppies. Now I'm going to tell you, this is how races are lost: interrupted by puppies and wives,
I know that feeling all too well.
and screaming children,
Yes.
or really just children in general. They don't have to be screaming.
So good play going straight for the ham, knowing not only that you can talk to Sarda, but you're going to get this incentive item here. So there's our loot. I like how we have the we have we, we have the ruby uh hack on or whatever, changing the ruby to something else, but we're not changing that loot to anything else. We're not playing bass guitars or vuvuzelas or whatever the heck. We are breaking out classic loot action
Sorry,
here.
I'm still ham. I'm sorry. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Also, I think that dog is wearing a cape.
Dog's wearing a cape. I mean, can we change out ham for like bologna or like salami or something?
Oh,
Like, I feel like
ham is
that's
just
just,
so great.
it's just,
It goes
yeah,
with
it's perfect.
everything.
Yeah. So good plays here. And oh my God, he's about to do the thing. He's going there.
Yes, 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 yes,
Are
yes,
you?
yes.
I'm all about the ordeals play, especially once you start kind of running out of incentives. And when you're talking about like 50-50 or not 50-50, but like even 30-30, good Lord, 33-33-33s between Marsh Cave, Ordeals, and Ice Cave. I mean, there's only one choice,
Yeah.
right?
Not
Like,
only that, but you're going to get the most experience out of here. And honestly, you've got 11 chests that you're going to pick through. You're probably going to get a little bit of gold out of it. One mistake that I
yeah,
saw somebody make a while back, and I don't remember who this was. It even could have been me. Someone did the Crescent Lake play. They grinded up for money so that they could buy nukes that were like really expensive at level 4. And I'm like, why don't you just go to Ordeals and go through the chests? Like that's going to get you more money than that.
yeah. I definitely have to agree with that. I mean, he had the perfect play though here because not only do we have Ice 3, you can get through the nightmares through that, but most things are susceptible to Fire 3. And yeah, you're going to get way more experience in here than going to Ice Cave or Marsh Cave. And there we go. We got a floater using
Nice.
exit. Oh my gosh, didn't even want
Excellent.
to deal with the zombie D's, which zombie D's would have probably been fine with Fire 3. But what if zombie D's had like nuke or something?
Yeah,
He
that would have been a
went
bad
with the
day.
safe play. Yeah. Safe play to get out of there. And yeah, I mean, like what Deadpool said, I mean, you're gonna get good money out of there. Medusas give good money. Sorcerers aren't as scary in the randomized version of this game as they were in the vanilla game. Gargoyles are annoying, but if they don't do anything dumb, you can get away from them. Same thing with man cats. But you've got plenty of things you can take down with Fire 3 or Ice 3, and there's our herb. So I love coming straight here. I would have Well, yeah, we have the tail, so this is like perfect. Great
Yeah.
routing here.
Yep.
And this works out great, especially to be able to turn in this tail this early. You're gonna get the max charges for that thief, what, at level 21?
Yeah. And we're definitely going at least to level 21.
So
Um,
here we go. So we talked about this before. Remember how we came in here, we got fast, kind of unnecessarily. Now we're back here doing the same thing. This is like a triple dive of Canaria. And I get it. You're newer, you like, I got to get the things, but fast is kind of one of those spells. It's a phenomenal spell. You need it. It is a end game spell, but you don't need it right now.
what I would have liked to see before going to Canaria would have been to go over to the caravan and check that shop item because I don't think we found it yet, just to
Yep.
see because you're in the area.
Yeah. Especially since it's pretty quick. Like putting the ribbon on the life caster. But wait, we have a red mage that's also a life caster, and that's it, right? Oh, no, yeah, we don't have a knight here, so yeah, yeah, that works out great. Either red mage or white mage would have been fine since we've got life on the white mage at level 1, but life 2 on obviously the white mage and the uh the red mage. The one thing I will say, so we did all the things right. We kind of avoided coming to Crescent. We probably didn't have the money at the time, but let's think about this. We would have gotten Nuke pretty early on, right? Would it have been worth coming here with the lack of
Um,
money, or is it better to come here now and knock out uh the city in one go?
well, if this was the intention, because now that we're promoted, like we only have to come here once instead of coming back for any delicious spells that we might get, or honestly, the more likely scenario would be we would just ignore any spells that were here.
Yeah, so actually I will have to say this was a great play. I know I was just kind of playing devil's advocate there for a second, but like in all seriousness, great play. Not only were you able to afford the crystal, you didn't really need nuke because you had ice 3 and fire 3. So it kind of worked out great there because you were able to get through ordeals with no issues. You were able to afford all the spells you could need for not only your ninja, your red mage, white mage, and black mage wizards. I mean, and you were able to get that vendor item that ended up being there. So I mean, that was a pretty good play. What do you think?
Ordeals does deliver. That's
Yeah,
we got a lot of money out of Ordeals, able to do that. So now at this point, so we're level 11. I didn't let's take a look. So we're coming down here, and we don't have the TNT. We do have exit, so it's not too big, and it is a lot of chests. But um, honestly, if I was going to check those, I would have waited to see because I have nuke at level 3. I'm already level 11, which means I have, several charges of it. I've got Fade at level 3. Um, I'm not scared of any Fiend at this point until I get
yeah,
until Temple of Fiends.
yeah. One thing I do want to point out, and I think I bang this home every single time we do a VOD review. There is absolutely no reason to step in a Melman without the slab, especially with the spells that you have. You had Fade and Nuke at level 3. You have Temper at level 4. You have Fast at level 1. You've got Fire 3, Life and Exit at level 1, and you have Life 2 at level 2, and Ice 3. There is absolutely nothing outside of that warp that ended up being promotion locked in Melman. So you hopped into Melman basically to lose what, 30 seconds, a minute, or something like that.
Yeah, probably about the 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, it's not a huge deal. It's just one of those things that I want people to like really think to themselves, like, why am I here? Like, think about what you have in your inventory. If you have like garbage spells, yes, go into Melman and pray for like a good spell that you can cast at level 12. But you have great spells here and you have decent enough armor. There's really no reason to hop into Melman and check out what's going on unless you have the slab and then you can kind of knock it all out in one go. Because at this point, we have the ribbon, we have the power bonk. We haven't seen the katana yet. Well, there it is. Um, so we're starting to get to the point now where the um the slab is potentially required. So you're gonna more than likely have to hop into Melman anyway.
yeah.
Oof, these giants with lit too, that's
Well,
brutal. But
one
that
thing that
ribbon,
there's something I'm thinking about right now, and that is so I have my katana on my thief. I know where fast and temper are. I have an adequate number of fast casts. I need like 4 more levels on my temper casters to get up to I think 5 charges each. I'm thinking about killing off those 2 characters and going thief white mage and funneling the experience to those 2, specifically because I want the ninja to be with that katana -1. I think 26, maybe 27 would be enough. Maybe even 28 for that next hit, and then my white mage. I want my white mage to have over 400 health. To
yeah,
be able to survive those nukes. The other 2 characters, I don't care about. They're going to be temper bots. If they're going to die a lot, but I would rather have that experience funneled to those characters. So at the
yeah,
30-minute mark, that's what I'm thinking. So I would probably go to Volcano, run up there, and get those characters killed off, and then continue on my day.
Yeah. So now we're talking about proximity plays here. We've already killed Lich. We've realized the katana's here. So we're kind of realizing that we need whatever incentive locations that we don't want to go to. We're probably gonna have to start going to. So I do like this because it's right here. We have exits, so we can literally just run away from wizards. Check this box. It's the chime. It's go mode. Let's go on ahead and use an exit. Let's get out of here. That was like literally a 30-second dive. We're good to go. Now we're trying to think about what we want to do. Ice Cave is still on the table. We got Waterfall. We have the Oxiel, so we can go kill Kraken if we want to. Checking this. I don't know what we're looking for here. I don't know what our item situation looks like. If we needed heals, I could understand doing that check, but it looks like we didn't really need to hop into the caravan. Oh, and 4X is already telling us he forgot he had already found the crystal. That
um,
happens.
One thing about overworld encounter, you have a very quick first encounter, and then you have a very long time period before your second encounter. I would be utilizing those to their max because yeah, you did take a fight in there, the delicious fight of the frost gators, who provide a lot of experience. But in all honesty, you're going to be running from half these fights. It's just going to be quicker to use a tent, walk off that first encounter, soft reset, and then go about your business.
And another thing I noticed, you didn't save before going into Waterfall after you took that unrunnable encounter. So in my opinion, just going through um running the overworld, you don't even take the overworld encounter, especially if it's unrunnable. Just reset out of it, go keep going, save outside of here, burn off an encounter, and then go into Waterfall and then do what you're doing now. Because if you wipe out of here, you're gonna miss the juicy EXP that you got from that unrunnable encounter that you took, because things could happen. I don't know. I'm a big fan of saving before going anywhere. You'd hate to lose any sort of EXP. And there's our level 15. That's our first charge on our ninja. Nothing great in those boxes. There's a crown. And let's get out of there. Good use of exit.
So
I
we're
know
only
we're
missing
kind
the cube, right?
it looks that way. I mean, because we don't need the key. C's not incentivized. Why are we leaving? Do we have a way to kill Kraken? I mean, we have nukes and
Yeah, we
fades
have
at level
nukes
3. Yeah,
galore. Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. So checking this crown, it's like, why are we leaving the area? We don't need to know if we're in go mode. C's not incentivized, so you can just go murder Kraken real quick and then do this afterwards.
I can understand being a little pensive at level 15 going in there. But in all honesty, with the thief having the 120 agility, it's good enough to face tank it. Having two nuke casters and a fade caster, even if you get horrendous turn order, 3 turns at the most will take down Kraken.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you weren't going to lean heavily on nuke and fade, you still got temper at level 4 and fast at level 1. You could like really, and power bonk. I mean, and a katana -1. I mean, it's a -1. It's not fantastic, but you still have it. You could lean into the thief with that extra agility and probably still do pretty good as long as the thief does, obviously Kraken doesn't break out some ridiculous blizzard or thunder or something like that. I mean, you have so many options to kill Kraken. The only thing that would be really scary in C is, of course, like, ambushing lobsters with some sort of nonsense. But then you still have a ribbon. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, not hopping in there and trying to get a cheeky Kraken kill. Even if you wipe out of there, at least you have the knowledge of what's in there, and you can come back later with levels and that knowledge.
Oh, ick. Crack.
Yeah, who luckily nothing too crazy happened there. Like using the lava tiles, it's good. Using the heal 3 instead of the heal pots, that's so good. That's like, again, kind of a vet strat because, that was something I didn't really learn until a little bit later, that it's so much quicker to use heal 3 or even heal 2 versus using heal pots.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I will frequently take white mages, and um, not only that, but I will buy heal 2 and I will buy a heal 3. regardless of how much they cost or where they're at. It's just
Yeah, I mean,
specifically for the volcano. Quickity is the word I'm going
yeah.
to use.
One thing I do want to point out is the kind of southwest route that you took there. I mean, no one takes that route. You go either east or south, or sorry, west or south, and then across the lava tiles so that you get minimal encounters. Luckily, it didn't end up being an issue. Obviously, you didn't see an encounter, so it wasn't like a big deal. It's just that, you know, oh my gosh, look at that encounter right there off the hard reset.
Yeah,
That's
so
beautiful.
what would be even more beautiful is if at this point we had just the thief and the white mage up,
Yeah.
and then you take this encounter 7 times, and you have all the levels that you're ever going to need.
Yeah, I mean, even at this point, if I see that off the hard reset and I've already killed 2 fiends, I've got like a ton of incentive items. I'm only level 16. I think to myself, well, let's do this thing. Let's get to like level, let's get to our mid 20s. I've got a thief carry. Let's get to like 25 or something. I don't have to take any more battles. I've got a thief in the front row that's going to probably, uh, ambush or sorry, get initiative, and then I can run away from anything else except for the unrunnables, and then not have to really take any encounters inside of dungeons to try to gain the levels.
That T Rex was also a little chunky.
Yeah,
It might have been hard 2 man, but only the first like 3 would have been hard because at that point you'd have your extra hit.
all right, so let's see if this gets a cube. Oh gosh, slab to bottle. That's ugly.
If this ends up turning into the key, I'm going to be very upset.
I'm gonna be upset for everybody.
I don't remember which locations were incentivized. I didn't. I don't have my list open.
Yeah, again, hopping into an item shop at this point, you already have the vendor item. No real reason to do it unless you obviously need something, and there's your key. Did we check Canaria uh
Yeah.
Castle? I don't
Yep.
remember.
We
Okay,
did
we
do
did.
Canaria Castle. I think we didn't do Ice Cave. I wonder if Ice Cave is incentivized.
It is incentivized. I think he was just kind of hoping that he didn't have to hop into Ice Cave, especially without warp. We know warp was level 5, and when he went back in to do the slab translation, he didn't actually hop into black magic and pick up warp because it was in that warp slot. It was in the vanilla slot.
Ah, this game even randomized. I understand that you took a gamble. One of the locations was not going to be necessary. You lost 50-50. What do you do?
Yeah, what do you do exactly? Especially without warp. In my mind, it's just annoying to go through Ice Cave without warp. Remembering that warp was available at level 5 and that you could have picked it up after class change, especially once you got the slab and went back into Melman and grabbed it. Um, would have been good. At least it would have reminded you, hey, I've got that, and I could potentially do an ice cave pretty quickly, as opposed to doing slab to bottle to key that you don't necessarily need. But it's fine. Key is technically go mode anyway, so
Yeah. I want to jump
yeah,
back 2 levels real quick before it's out of everyone's mind. You always take the inside track on that little Z curve, so then you can hit the front of the door of the room and save 1 step. And I know this seems finicky, but when you have lost a race because you miss a step in C and get an unrunnable lobster encounter right before you light the orb, then you're going to like worship using as minimum amount of steps as possible.
yeah. And he's talking about right now, he didn't realize that C was incentivized, which is why he's checking these boxes. But again, just something I want to point out: if you are clearing Kraken side, make sure you hug those walls. You obviously took an encounter you didn't need to take on those waters that were in that bottom right room because you didn't hug the wall. And then you just kind of move the encounter table along as well by not hugging the wall, and the same in the bottom left room. Just it's all about efficiency. Trying not to move the encounter table along, and especially trying not to. Oh, hey, look, it's unrunnable lobsters. It's like I'm a freaking prophet over here.
It's gross. Nobody likes to see that.
Yeah. But outside of this, knowing to get away from these battles, and got to cracking pretty quickly here. Just trying to figure out what he wants to do. Just a couple of mismenus, but that's a new thing. I like moving the black mage up to the front row. Just going ahead and let him do his fast thing and keep it moving. The only thing I will say is it's kind of not necessary because of how high the agility is on the ninja. What do you think of this?
Um, in
Would
practice,
you
I
do it?
like it. In practice, I
Yes.
like it. Um, how However, I would have done something differently. Like I wouldn't have cast Invis 2. I don't mean to talk up speed and power on this. I would have cast fast on the ninja. I would have nuked and fade and attack, and then I would have nuke fade attack, and
Yeah.
that would have taken care of this battle much sooner. In which case, I would then have left the thief in the front slot. Because the thief swinging doesn't matter to me. You get a fast because you have a katana. That's cute. But you're not my main damage dealer right now. You're not going to be my main damage dealer until Tiamat 2.
Mhm.
Until then, you're going to be carried by nukes and fades.
Yeah. So, so looking at this right now, Sea Shrine is actually incentivized. I was completely wrong. So it's good he's in here, clearing Sea Shrine. It was Volcano and Sky Palace that were not incentivized. It is a random Sea Shrine. So at this point, he is doing another 50-50 here. It's either Defense Sword or the Cube, and obviously he just found the Defense Sword.
Yep.
So at this point, again, it's like, man, C was incentivized too. So you dipped out of there and could have gotten some pretty decent levels looking for things and trying to kill Kraken and stuff like that instead of getting out of there and doing kind of the other thing where you turn in the crown, which ended up leading to the key that you didn't really need. Granted, you didn't need the defense either, but then you could have done the key turn in anyway without having to leave the area. If that makes any sense.
I guess it boils down to the likelihood. Because there was at that point it was a 33% chance of wherever you went would have the correct item. So I can definitely understand if you didn't go and get that incentive from C while you were there. I would advise against it because it's you have exit. It's not too bad of a check to do um,
Yeah.
before doing the crown and such. Because at that point now you've checked the C incentive. You turn in the crown. You're at the crown. Turn it in. Realize it's the slab. So you have two options: either turn in the slab or make your way over to ice and do a quick dive there. So
Yeah.
that would have been my play. Instead of I would turn in the slab, I would go over to ice, do that, and then if ice turned out to be the cube, I wouldn't have to turn in the slab. If it didn't, then I've only wasted about 30 seconds.
So looking at that battle right now, that T-Rex seemed to have about, between 5 and 600 HP, just throwing that out there. And it was literally in that quadrant. Couldn't have been, what, 3 steps off that hard reset or whatever. Um, and it looks like 4X giving us a a little bit of a spoiler here.
A
Something's
little
about to happen. It's
foreshadowing,
gonna,
if you will.
yeah,
A
exactly. We're gonna
4x shadowing. That's what we got here.
Yeah, we're gonna see something crazy. But we've got 3 orbs down. We're about an hour in. Again, Forex, really new player, gonna be in the Duck Derby coming up next month. Um, putting himself out there, showing us his seed, and I recommend any new player. I mean, I feel like this is our first outside of Hate. This is our first Duckling, right? Bryce.
Yeah, we had Hayton Bryce.
So and Hate's been around for a while. I don't want to discount him. I mean, he was in the last Duck Derby, so it's good to see these ducklings throwing things out here for us to review. And I don't know. I feel like the plays are really good though. Like
Yeah.
even though we have some critiques, it's mild critiques. It's like just think about your routing, think about why you're doing the things you're doing, and trust me, every time I play this game and I'm doing a thing and I realize that I'm doing a dumb thing, I think to myself, why did I do that thing? I think of the exact same um advice I'm trying to give to you guys. So, none of us are immune to dumb decision making or doing things in the spur of the moment, and not really thinking about what you're doing.
every
But
time
just,
every time I load up a seed that hate has written, I think to myself like, what led me in life to be at this point where I have like a a 200 to 500 clamped boss thing going on, and all I have is a red mage and a white mage.
Yeah, Matt went down pretty hard, and this hurt's coming up in a few minutes, but I didn't see anything that looked too crazy.
No, no.
Now, at this point, you know this T. Okay, so again, I keep talking about this T-Rex. Wait a minute. He says something about orbs in his menu. Did he not?
Oh my goodness!
He's
Hold on. Let me go back and see what the heck we just missed.
he killed he killed all four fiends. Did he exit out before lighting up the orb? I've done that before in Entrance Shuffle, thinking I was being super cheeky. Okay, that's a thing. Oh no, did he just?
He
No,
didn't
he used
save.
it.
He didn't save. He saved it and must have reset before the save went through.
That before the save. Oof.
Yep,
At least
you
that
got
T is not too hard to kill, and that's something you're going to learn from. That's an easy mistake to learn from real quick. But yeah, I mean, you should have known right then and there that you were only level 21, and you had already done. You'd already been level 21 before. But yeah, that's brutal. You hate to see that. But I do like this play. He knows that this T-Rex is here. In his mind, he's lit up 4 orbs, and he's only level 21. He probably wants some extra levels on the thief and blah blah blah. So let's go on ahead and try to get some extra levels before heading into Topher.
Well, this kind of also goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. Like four man grinds never feel good. Um, Really, whenever you're grinding, like why black belt grinds are great is because you know that your goal is to get that black belt up to probably 42, maybe 32, and the most efficient path to getting that is to have a solo grind. With a
Yeah.
flag set like this, where you have a ninja rainbow, you need to understand what your end game is, and that is going to be the ninja with the katana that has fasted and tempered. Fasted once, probably tempered 3 to 4 times during chaos, and you need to physically make it to chaos. And how you do that is obviously having the ninja and then having a life caster. So you could make the arguments that since the red mage has life, that you could funnel the levels into the thief and the red mage. But I would have done the white mage just to get a couple of extra spell charges on that cure 4.
Yeah. All right, grabbing some pro rings. Uh, we gotta go. Are we grabbing pro rings at this point? What do you think about picking up a few pro
I'm
rings?
not. I'm not grabbing. I didn't even grab the gold bracelet that 4X did in uh,
Yeah,
Melnor. That's
I
the town.
mean, yeah, especially for the thief. I mean, yes, it does grant you that death protection, which is obviously going to be good. Uh, in Topher, but uh, you're leaning heavily on that agility and evasion. Grabbing gold bracelets is nothing.
If I
Here we
if I
go.
have
We're gonna.
free cash and I'm going through still looking for like a pro ring or something, I can understand grabbing the gold bracelets, but I'm not going to make a special trip for them, and I'm not actually going to buy 4 of them. I'll buy 3 of them, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm still opening chests hoping for ribbons. I expect that I will get one piece of armor that somebody will wear. And if not, the black mage is just going to be naked. But she did end up finding a black shirt. I'm not saying it was like self fulfilling prophecy or anything, but chances are you're going to find either a flame armor, an iron armor, ice armor, opal bracelet, silver +4, uh, black shirt, white shirt. You know, pick your poison.
Yeah, one thing I will say though is I do like the fact that he realized immediately, because I would have stared at my screen for like 20 years trying to figure out what the heck I did wrong. Because in my mind, I killed all the fiends. Like, how did you realize that you accidentally reset out of this? Is pretty impressive to go on ahead, stare at the screen for like that 5 or 10 seconds or whatever, and then realize, oh crap, I forgot to save after killing Tiamat or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, so that's great. Realizing what your mistake was right away and then just going on ahead and rectifying it. I mean, this while it cost you a little bit of time, it didn't cost you as much time as it could have.
I like using nuke and fade here, not messing around. not being cute with magic, just go go go.
Yeah. Especially since you already knew Tia was kind of a pushover. I think that Tia went down in one round with a bunch of nukes and fades. Um, I think this katana slice should do it. Yeah. I mean, she couldn't have had more than 800 HP. And then, yeah, I mean, we're kind of Topher ready here. Even after all that, I mean, what are we, level 25, 26, somewhere in that general area? I
Yeah,
feel pretty
about
good
25.
about going into Topher.
I would have liked to see the thief at. Oh god, I got to get the numbers right. I think
It's
level
28.
is it 28 with a katana -1 to get the next level hit.
Oh,
I thought
I
I,
always, I
I
always
thought
think
it was
about Masa.
20 to get the fourth hit, or maybe that's for Masa.
Yeah, I only know the
I'll have to
Masa
look at the
stats.
numbers.
Yeah,
Katana has what,
yeah.
35 hit? So that would be four
Ooh,
levels away. So then you need to be level 24. You need to be level. All right, 25 would be the break point then.
yeah. So we're looking pretty good going into here. Ooh, Unrunnable Earths. Fizzle's having nightmares right now watching this.
Unrunnable Earths are garbage.
Unrunnable Earths. Isn't that how you beat him in Dab? Is Unrunnable Earths?
Oh, who can remember? It was that, and then running out of healing potions.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to buy healing potions, but you don't go to places like Elfland to buy healing potions. Hop into Crescent Lake or hit the caravan. Those are your two quickest item shop
Yeah.
locations.
One race, I went into Temple of Fiends not realizing I only had 2 heal potions.
Yeah.
I ended up using the heal helm a couple times.
Ooh. You know what? I
Like
do
that's
have
how
to say,
desperate I was.
normally I would be like, don't be cheeky about your magic spells, but I do like using Harm 4 versus Fade. It's the exact same damage you're going to get on Lich. And obviously, you don't have to use Fade there. So, it was a good little heads up play there going into that Lich battle.
Yeah, and we have life for days, so.
Yeah, yeah, we got life on the red wizard and the white wizard at level 2. So it doesn't matter if you're using Harm 4.
All right, I don't like what I see here. I don't like your main damage dealer in this is the ninja. Um, Having them not swing that first round is is not what I would do. I would have the red mage or the black mage alternate actually for fiend fights to cast fast, so I still have, and the other one cast temper, and then turn two we're going nukes, um, because no fiend should be able to survive that onslaught for more than 3 rounds.
And you
But
need
if you
to
don't swing that first turn, like you're giving Kraken one more turn to nuke the crap out of you.
use that nuke spell. This is the kind of the reason why we wanted you to get a little bit more levels going into this. Luckily, both your white mage and your ninja survived, and then Kraken tried to back row your ninja, but obviously missed because he's got all that agility. This is getting kind of scary, but luckily the heal threes are coming out. Um, you know, kind of waiting. I would have probably thrown a fade, and now cure 4 that you picked up at level 6 would have gotten your ninja out of stun touch here. But luckily, fade comes out and it's
Ooh,
fine. But that was a little scary.
that was
But yeah,
that was
you
a
have
little
tons of,
scary and a little lucky.
yeah, tons of cure 4. Remember, cure 4 will obviously take care of that there stun touch and get him out of there. But luckily, like I said, the fade ended up doing its thing. Um, Temper's coming out. Would have liked to see fast because fast obviously doubles your damage output right away. As you can see, Tia goes down. Might have gone down in the first round if we had done at least one fast cast versus two tempers coming out. What do you think of
Oh,
that?
yeah, probably. Nitpicky thing there. I never cure for my black mage just because it was only going to do 5 heal pots worth.
Yeah,
It
and
saves a little bit of time, and yeah, you do have some extra cure fours, but I just, as a rule, I don't do it.
yeah, cure four only your main melee, uh, or you're obviously if you're in a battle like Tia 2 or Kraken 2, cure four in your white mage, your life caster. But yeah, there's really no reason to cure for somebody who you could bring up with a life to after the battle.
Now, I like moving the ribbon. That's something that I still forget.
Yep. big good play, especially against chaos. Your white mage does not need to life 2 after this. So, getting that ribbon on the ninja, big play there.
So another
Um,
thing, so you ran out of tempers going into this. So your whole goal, well, GGs are in order. Your whole goal in this is to get to chaos with two fast cast total and probably four tempers, two on each. So I would have tried to go a little bit beforehand and like if you had casted fast instead of the double temper and then fast on the ninja, you would have had three more temper casts for the chaos fight, if that makes sense.
hmm,
Um, but yeah, basically, whenever I'm ready to go into go mode, I'm always thinking about what my win condition is, specifically to get to chaos, and then what I do against chaos, and that would have been it. Two fast casts in KCS low two, four tempers, and then I would rain nukes and invis twos until the end of days. But
yeah,
besides all this stuff, like that was a great run. Like yeah, that save really sucked. And coming back in, I you probably lost maybe 5 minutes off it, so you're looking at a 115 based off of this. If you would have cleaned up the routing a little bit, gone to uh, C before that, not having double dip, there's another 2 minutes. Checking ice a little earlier in that probably would have saved another 2 minutes. I mean, 110 on these is is really freaking good.
yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, like, again, the whole point of the VOD review here is to, obviously try to help you clean up your runs a little bit, and it's, us being nitpicky isn't like us being like, "Oh, you suck at the game," or, like, that's not what we're saying at all. What we're trying to get at is, like, trying to make you more mindful of ways that you can clean up your race, because if you don't hear people telling you like, "Hey, why are you here?" Think about why you're doing this. Why are you going into that item shop? There's no reason to go into that item shop. You've already seen the vendor item. You have plenty of camping gear and heals and pures and softs. Why are we checking this out? Why are we in this armor shop when we already have seen where the pro rings and the gold bracelets are? Why are just those kind of things that you think to yourself like, "Oh, I don't need to do that ever again." Those all those over the course of the entire seed will save you, 2 seconds here, 3 seconds here, 5 seconds, 30 seconds here, so forth and so on. And then that's how you get those competitive times. That's how you become a crab cakes or a spell zap or a jad or a dead pulse or somebody like that. So it's just, again, outside of those little nitpicky things that we're talking about, that was a good run. That was better than I would have run this game, joining the community a month or two ago. So overall, I mean, GG's. I don't really have anything else to say that I hadn't already said during the run.
Yeah. This kind of reminds me of when I came into the community. It was what the end of September of 2 years ago, and I started off with I think SGL was just coming into play.
Yeah.
But I had just missed the summer duck derby, so I was
Mhm.
practicing with two 2020 spring tournament flags. The two loose and the canal loose.
Yeah.
Tons of fun, by the way, watching all those races and such. But then my times that I was putting in, like I was getting, top five as far as the ducklings went. I mean, we would have between, 10 and 15 ducklings per week. And I was getting pretty good in there, but I was still about 20 to 30 minutes in a. If I'd finish in like 90 minutes, the top runners would be finishing at 60 minutes or 65 minutes. And it didn't dawn on me right away. Like, how is this happening? How am I still 30 minutes behind people? I've been playing this game for a month. Like, what am I not getting? And this is exactly it. Every time that I would do a run, I would record it, I would watch myself, and I would pick out one thing, just one thing that I could do better. I would then purposely run the next race thinking this is what I'm going to do. And if you do that every race and you improve on just one thing, practice 20 times, I guarantee you, like 10 minutes off your times, And then all of a sudden 10 minutes come off my times and I'm within striking distance of some of these people who I have been, watching do spring tournament and idolizing for how quick they are. So in the end, too long, didn't listen. Practice. For the love of God, you're not going to go into the Duck Derby. Nobody is going to go into the Duck Derby unless your name is Ailmarkin or Sir Linkalot, and just do great without practicing.
Yeah. And
End
again,
rant.
not so much practicing on your own, but like run some races, talk to some people, join, give yourself that ping me to race role. Right now is the best time to do it because there are vets out there right now. They are pinging me to race and they are running Duck Derby flags. They are just trying to keep themselves entertained. Caleb is doing it literally every morning. Most nights there's somebody going, "Hey, ping me to race. What do you want to do? Oh, Duck Derby's around the corner. Let's run, one of the random Duck Derby flags." You can hop into those races. Even if you go out there and get your butt completely stomped over by these veterans, you could talk to them afterwards and be like, "Hey, what could I do to improve my game? What did you do? Where did you go? What was the thing that you did?" And then you can get just better at the game from just talking to these people, picking their brains. And then of course, the VOD reviews, watching this right now, like I said, I wish Chad had been around when I was new to do these VOD reviews. The closest thing I had was Fizzle would randomly PM me after a run and say the exact same things I'm saying. He's like, "Why did you go into Elfland 3 times? He had no reason to go into that city that many times. Why did you do these things? These are just ways to clean up your runs." So, uh, anyway, I know we've kind of beat that dead horse to death again a
it was
lot.
it was cathartic. Like I haven't had like a good rant in quite some time.
And as you can see, 4X is already adding ping me to race roll because,
Yes.
hey, that is the best way. Like I said, there's just no better way than to put yourself out there and run a race. Don't show don't don't let the Duck Derby race one be your very, very first race. And speaking of which, this is also a good way to learn how to use Racetime GG. So we do have our weekly races, Mondays and Thursdays. We have one tomorrow night after the extra credit, which is at 8:30. The weekly races at 10:30. The weekly races are the best way right now to not only put yourself up against other veterans and just other people in general, but to learn how to use Racetime GG because you don't want to, again, not know what you're doing on day one, show up, and you can't even like log into Racetime GG or whatever. So, going ahead, show up for those things. If you have questions, obviously you can PM me, you can PM Deadpulse, you can PM any admin, you can PM anybody, I think. Just shoot it out there or just go into one of the channels and be like, "Hey, can somebody help me with Racetime GG?" Somebody will hop into a voice channel with you and show you how to do everything, get you all set up and good to go. Get your OBS ready to go. Get your whole Twitch thing going so that you can go on ahead and participate in this Duckling Derby because it's pretty hype. It's going to be fun. We have 13 runners, right, on both races. We
Yep,
have 13
13
on
on both
on
days.
yeah, we got a late sign in with Sir Tobalot, which I was really happy to see them come back in and participate in the Duckling Derby. I'm glad we were able to get them in on the day that they wanted to, so that we can even up the teams at 13 and 13. Um, I'm pretty hyped about it, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Outside of that, yeah, Monday 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Monday weekly um race. Thursday again, extra credit with Dark Moon here on Final Fantasy Randomizer Twitch, and then Thursday night at 10:30 will be our Thursday night weekly race, which are going to be the flags for this week, correct? The
The what?
the boot camp
Yeah,
flags.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
those flags are fun. I don't know. I've had a lot of fun with not only helping out for the derby, but helping out with the flag sets for the weeklies. I think that these have been pretty fun, and that's not
Yeah.
something that I'm used to. I, I like things with structure. I like things that teach something definitive. We're like, why can't we do both? We can have a little fun too.
So outside of that, of course, we've got our third race of our Platy Party. It's the finals. We're gonna find out which of anybody is going to take this whole Platypus Prime title down. It's going to happen Sunday at 8:30. Me and Dead Pulse are going to be running comms on the RPG Limit Break. We'll probably have a
RPG limit
second.
break.
Yeah, we're gonna probably have a second restream on our Final Fantasy Randomizer Twitch, hosted by Hate and whoever else wants to go on ahead and do the thing. Um, and yeah, that's gonna be the day after Christmas, so we're pretty excited about that. And then that's pretty much it as far as Platypus Prime and Duckling Boot Camp goes. Duckling Derby starts
Ugh,
January
13
4th.
days.
Yeah, January 4th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those that are in Group 1, and those that are in Group 2, of course, we'll be doing Sunday, um, January 11th? No, sorry, January 9th. I don't even know anything.
Ninth. That sounds
January,
right.
yeah, yeah, January 9th at
Or
6
eighth.
p.m. Eastern
It's
Standard
something.
Time. I hope on myself, I hope with my schedule, that I can be there to bring these races to you. Hopefully, Dead Pulse will be available as well. If we're not available, we'll get some other people to calm those races. But I am super excited about. I am super hyped about this particular Duckling Derby because this is the first time we've tried this format with two different groups, and the top two from both groups are going to go at it with each other and like a big old Duckling Supreme run in week 5. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait.
So I'm just going to sneak this in here for anyone who enjoys the show, pays attention. My suggestion, and this is the only advice I'm going to give about the Duck Derby specific to the flags, um, is that you should practice week 1. You're shooting for an average time of better than 40 minutes because the veterans are going to be able to run most of those seeds in about 35, but I think 40, if you can get an average of 40, you're probably going to end up in the top 3, top 4 that week. There it is, my one and only piece of advice for specific flag sets, and it's week 1.
Yeah.
But no, I'm good. Thank you very much, 4X, for this. The dog that went in your lap, his name is Posey. That's amazing. More
Yeah,
people
dogs.
need dog cams. I'm putting that out there right now. You're
Yeah,
you're more likely to be talked about if you have a dog cam.
yeah, dogs are super cute. I'm just glad that I was able to do this tonight. I'm super excited about the Duckling Derby coming up. We've got one more Pulp and Puss, Pulp,
Wow.
Pulp, Pulse and Puff and Pulse. Good Lord, I was struggling with those words. I think I had a mini stroke there for a second. We got one more of those next Wednesday. Who are we featuring
Oh
next
my
week?
goodness. Well, we're going to find out next Tuesday, but if you're following along, it's probably going to be another duckling. We also have, I think we have 2 more VODs currently that we're going to get through. We're going to do, I think the name starts with an A, and that's as far as I'm going to go. But then we have another one of Rich Bork's, which I'm really looking forward to reviewing. We're going to try to sneak that in on a different day. And if we get any more that come in, we're going to try to get those out before the Duck Derby. So if you have a VOD review that's not of one of the Duck Derby races, if it's of one of the boot camp flags, or it's a flag of your own creation, or you grabbed one of Hate's super death seeds, post it. We'll review it because that's what we do.
Yep.
That's all I got. Greg, please take us out with your charming mechanisms. And for the love of God, don't say pus.
Didn't say plus ever again because that's gross. All right, so thank you again for hanging out. Final Fantasy Randomizer Twitch. Obviously, if you aren't part of the randomizer community, which would be weird if you were on our Twitch, but if you're on our Twitch and you aren't part of our Discord, go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. Click on the link that says Community Discord down at the bottom of the website. That will take you to our Discord channel. You can ask all kinds of questions, find out all about the randomizer. I know it can be very, very, very intimidating. There are tons of different boxes to click and all that stuff. So come out here, join the thing. If you don't know what you're doing, just hop into the Duckling weekly. Just roll that seed and see how that goes for you. If you have any questions about it, you ping anybody. uh, DM me, DM Dead Pulse, DM just somebody. Anybody will give you the answers to the questions that you need, or you can just ask the questions. And of course, the Duckling Derby category. There are so many channels in there that you can just ask questions about anything related to the Duckling Weeklies or Duckling Boot Camp or Duckling Derby. Outside of that, yeah, we'll see you next week. I already told you about the weekly races, the extra credit tomorrow night, the Duckling Boot Camp slash Platimus Prime Platy Party thing that's happening on Sunday, when the Duckling Derby is going to start next year. If you guys do the whole Christmas thing, have an awesome Christmas. For everybody else, have an amazing holiday, and we will see you next time. Have a good night.